up, guys? Tambo here with your weekly core report. We're coming off of Thanksgiving, and our members and experts had a ton to be thankful for last week. Let's get to the winners. In the NBA streets, Ash Frank NFL won $1,500. NYG fan used AP's heat map to win $1,800. D-Rex26 hit for $4,500, and new subscriber Tom hit for $15K. Fur PBC shipped for $33K, while the Man 11 had yet another huge payday, shipping for $100,000. RPS continues to dominate all sports, including World Cup soccer. Our team has been crushing it with the content, and we have the receipts to prove it. Go Boys 18 hit for $1K. New member Wes Ray won over $1,300. Jaime's content helped Poker Pastor get through a tough time, hitting for $2K. Big T won over $20K. Rubio's hard work grinding out soccer content paid off with a $20K shipper. Well, the biggest winner was RPS member Eddie, who turned $500 into over $30,000. Our NFL content has been on fire all season, and we didn't let the Thanksgiving holiday slow us down. We have plenty of free content available on our YouTube channel daily, so make sure to subscribe right now to access the winners. DK for 5 hit big on Thanksgiving, winning $10K. C Jacobs 986 joined him, shipping for $15K. On the main slate, Racing Jason 910 hit for over $6K. LT Dog 24 shipped for $50K, while my own heater continued, winning my first FFWCC. For Showdown, our guy Hoop was a big winner, shipping for over $100K across sites. He used his core plays, laid out for our premium members, including a low-owned Jelani Woods, who ended up breaking the slate. Shout out to YGuy223, who won over $9K as well. Congrats again to all our members. If you want to be featured in the core report, drop your winning lineup in the Members Never Win channel in our premium Discord. If you're not a member, join now. You won't find a better value with all sports included for one low price. And while you're watching, hit that like button now. Remember, if you're not winning with us, you're watching us win. Till next time, let's keep running pure.
What is going on? Happy Saturday and welcome to the NBA Hardwood over here on Run Pure Sports. I'm Eric Crane and I'm joined. We got Glock. We got Kurt. Glock, what's up, man? How you doing on this Saturday?
Doing good. Woke up a little earlier than I normally do for the USA game. Kind of in shambles. Took the L there, but we fought hard and we're a young squad, so looking forward to see how we can do in the future.
Dude, it's so fun. Like I tweeted about this. Like, rooting for the soccer team is great because you have no expectations. If they win, hey, Euphoria, we won. Great, way to go. If we lose, we were supposed to lose. Who gives a shit? Like, it's so great. It's a really great way to start your morning. Just like, you can't be disappointed, and that's how often do you get to watch sports and you can't be disappointed? I enjoyed it. I'm enjoying the World Cup. I'm enjoying winning money, by the way, with the Run Pure crew. It's been good. It's been good.
No, yeah, it's been awesome. Like, I feel like every day someone from RPS is shipping soccer. Like, the crew is seriously crushing it. And, I knew nothing about soccer DFS, honestly, before the World Cup. I probably play it here and there, maybe some Premier League slates because some of my buddies are into it. But yeah, like, I would never really play it. But yeah, it's been fun throwing in a lineup or two here and there and following the games, the staggered starts and stuff like that. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And looking forward to keep the momentum going for sure in that and as well as NBA. So yeah, excited to break down this slate with you guys. Just a 4-game slate with most of the injury news already in our hands, which is nice for now at least. No barring no surprises. But yeah, looking forward to breaking it down with all you guys.
Yeah, Kurt, have you been grinding the soccer streets at all? Have you been no soccer streets?
Yes, no. Like, the reason why I know Big T, I know Rubio and all these guys was because like 8 or 12 years ago, we were all in this World Cup chat. It was before like anyone was anybody. And we were just like all grinding this together. Rubio and Tristan were reading us along. So that's how I know all of them. So like every time it comes around, it's like, man, how far we come and how old do I feel? But I've been grinding. I've not had anything worthy of posting, but I have been building my bankroll. I had a $2 single entry takedown in FanDuel today. I think I lost a clean sheet, but like I've just been building the bankroll like crazy. Had a freaking absolute heartbreaker the other day when my goal was ruled a known goal. I dropped down. I was almost close to banking the main on FanDuel. But hey, you know what? We've definitely been building the bankroll. I love it. Our guys over here, every sport, man, just absolutely crushing. And the best part, I'll leave it at this. The best part, morning DFS is the nuts. It's why I love EuroLeague. It's in the morning. It's why I love that's why I don't do the showdown playbook for NFL when it's in London and Germany. I love early DFS. It gets us
it's because you're up early, Kurt.
That's true. I wake up at like
early
5 a.m. every day.
Oh, wait, hold on. Glock, what's your normal wake up time? This should be good.
Oh man, so I have a regular 9 to 5 job during the week, so I get up early on those days, but I still sleep in on the weekends if I can. Obviously 11 or 12 seriously. So I'm a late riser on the weekend if I can. But obviously with NFL on Sunday, I gotta get up a little early for that. But Saturdays I try to sleep in as normal as possible. That's why I said I woke up a little earlier than normal today, just to watch USA play.
Yep, I'm on that dad life. So my kid wakes up, I'm up. That's just how it works. Lately, he hasn't been waking up till 9:30 though. It's been amazing, and I don't know what has happened. I don't know if it was the time change or what it was, but now it's just it's 9:30. I'm like, bro, it's lunchtime. We got to get up. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, guys, we're gonna talk this 4-game NBA slate. Of course, I got the chat open if you guys want to chat. Answer some questions if you guys want. And yeah, Kurt, we got a little 4-game slate. We got all the news. Kind of what's your initial thoughts on this slate?
It's the first game I don't love. I still don't think that all the injury news is out for the Warriors. I know we think that it's just I talked to Glock pre-show. I don't know. I think we could see a surprise. So I'm gonna probably have a couple pass of where I prepare for everyone being out, and then I'll just eat a bullet on those if everyone's in. And then I have a way where I stack the OKC Minnesota game, and then hope that all the guys do play and everyone kind of does the path that I did. So a couple different ways to get different there. And then of course you got the absolute nut late hammer pull in Utah. It's a fun, I mean, for a 4-gamer on a Saturday, I like it. I think news is going to be huge. And I think we have an advantage there because we'll be around the clock giving you all the info.
It's a good sports night, man. You got good college football on. Of course, the best college football games already happened today, where they happened last night. We got MMA tonight. We got NBA tonight. I'll tell you, that Run Pure Sports Discord is going to be lit, as the kids say. So make sure you stick around and check that out for you members. And guys, if you're watching here, do us a favor, click subscribe. It helps us out over here at Run Pure Sports. Let's go ahead and hop into this first game. It's the Magic at the Raptors, 220.5 point total. The Raptors 11-point favorites at home. There was some question about whether Markelle Fultz was going to go. It sounds like he's going to be in. So that means Cole Anthony chalk night ain't going to happen. But I don't know. Glock, are you excited about any of these Orlando pieces? Because they're big dogs on the road in a tough matchup.
Yeah, definitely not. They are missing a lot of bodies, and I kind of wrote some notes on the playbook last night. Chuma Okeke was questionable, Suggs, Gary Harris, Mo Bamba. They're all questionable last night, but got ruled out earlier today. And I was kind of thinking in my head, okay, if some of these guys get ruled out, I may have more interest in this game. But man, it just seems like they're actually the one team that feels like they are tanking for Victor Wembanyama the proper way. And they're running a 10, 11, 12-man rotation. I looked at last game, even without some of their main guys, Chuma Okeke, Jalen Suggs, Mo Bamba, they ran a 12-man rotation. And that's just something I'm definitely not going to get interested in, especially on a 4-game slate. I guess if I had to pick some Orlando guys, it would be Mo Wagner. If he gets to start again. He's only 4.7K on DraftKings. I think he would be a fine value play that you could plug in. But then again, I don't really love the Orlando side. And then, on the Toronto side, you have guys that are projecting really well. Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet. They were both battling foul trouble last night against Brooklyn. So in theory, they should be pretty well rested. So I do like them. It's just Kurt kind of touched on it earlier, where do you want to soak up a lot of your salary in this first game and, limit your flexibility just in case something crazy comes out where, okay, Steph Curry and Draymond Green are off the injury report, but if you don't see them in the starting lineup, then you can automatically think of, something fishy is going on. So this is probably what Kurt said, my least favorite game of the slate. But there are some strong plays for sure, mainly on the Raptors side.
All right, so Kurt, who do you like in this game?
So it is my least favorite game, but my favorite play as far as GPP is probably actually in this game. I love Fred VanVleet after a shit game. I'm obsessed with it. I swear to God, I feel like it's never bit me in the ass. I know some people have a bad taste in their mouth from him, but This guy just crushes for me, and I love it when he just shot absolutely terrible last night. And now he gets to Orlando. I mean, 7,200 for a guy who can put up 50. Like, I'm going so heavy on VanVleet. I don't think he's projecting that. I don't think he's projecting that crazy. So, yeah, I'm going way overweight. I love the play. I'm about to tell you, he's probably play of the day. We'll have some Siakam too. I'm hoping I'm not going to play Mo Wagner. I hope that I know he probably can't kill you at that price, but like if he can just bust, and I assume like 30% are going to have him. Man, I think I'm starting out pretty hot with that. I like that.
Okay, so any interest in these other Orlando pieces for you, Kurt? Like, or you just fade this whole spot?
I don't mess with like Glock said. I don't mess with big rotations. If someone wants to kill me in an 11-man rotation, let them.
All right, that's fair enough. And wait, hold on. So can we play this Christian Koloko guy if he starts for Toronto at 3-2? I want to make sure we mention him. Oh, Kurt laughs. That's usually not a good sign.
I like Koloko. I think next year he'll kind of explode, but
I don't like him. I think there's better value that we'll talk about in the late hammer game.
Yeah.
That I think obviously he's gonna have more ownership, but Koloko is kind of like a spot starter guy. I feel like Nick Nurse tries to get away from him any chance he can get. Obviously, if he's playing hot, racking up the stocks and stuff, it's good. But this Orlando team, I think if they were healthy with Wendell Carter Jr., Mo Bamba, Bol, the bigs that they have in the rotation, if they were all healthy, I think Koloko would be a little more interesting. But the fact that Orlando is shorthanded and they can kind of go small with guys like Mo Wagner, Bol's not obviously the biggest guy, he's kind of thin, so makes me have less interest in someone like Koloko for sure.
All right, let's move on to Oklahoma City at Minnesota. 233.5 point total. Minnesota 5-point favorites at home. Obviously, no Karl Anthony Towns here for the Thunder. Sounds like everybody is in. Kurt, I'm going to start with you because you said this is a game that you wanted to stack up. So talk to me about it.
Yeah, it's mostly on the Minnesota side, but just going Shea and then a bunch of those Timberwolves who are just underpriced. Like Jalen Noel is still, he's just been scorching the world. He'll be chalk, but like it's not even like, I mean, he's been shooting well, but it's not like he did this at Washington. He can shoot. Like he shot 40% last game, 4 for 10. I mean, 4,300, getting the minutes. Anderson, and Edwards, you can literally play 3 or 4 Timberwolves and just run it back with just Shea, and I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, and you mentioned the shot attempts are just through the roof. 19 last games, the games before 13, 11. Like the dude's just chucking it at 4,300. Like if the guy's taking that many shots, Glock, it's tough for him not to get there.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is like definitely the value spot of the night. Obviously, Minnesota is without Karl Anthony Towns, so that opens up a lot of usage on the Minnesota side. We saw it last game. Anthony Edwards took the reins there. D'Lo had a good game, although I don't truly love him ever, especially at this tag. It feels like he's always at that bait tag where it's like, okay, he's a nice tag. I think if he just gets me 35, 40, I'm cool with it. And then he ends up not doing it, which is, a little concerning. But yeah, I mean, the Minnesota just full of smash plays for sure. Kyle Anderson's going to be starting again, most likely. Really strong value play. Rudy Gobert, I mean, he's not ever a sexy roster, but bigs. Go ahead. Kurt.
I never play Gobert. Ever. I'll be starting most of my teams tonight with VanVleet and Gobert.
Okay. I mean, that's just, man, don't watch the games if you're going to do that.
Oh, I won't be. I'm going to the casino.
Okay, yeah, you're good, man. You're going to the casino before you leave, too, if you're playing Gobert. Like, that's just a tough one to
I'm just feeling it tonight.
It's just,
it's one of his better matchups in a couple last 3 or 4 or 5 games. And now you get, obviously, Cat's not in the lineup. If he gets 30 minutes here, oof.
It's bigs against OKC. I mean, we've always targeted it, right? They're probably going to have to start. They're bigs against OKC. Yeah.
Well, bigs against Charlotte, too. What do you do against Charlotte?
Load up on the bigs.
You sub 7K.
Yeah.
Yep. I get it.
I never play him either, Crane. I never play him either. I know.
Man, it's just a tough, if you watch that game, man, you're just going to be like, boy, I know you're going to the roulette table tonight, but man,
I'll be tracking play by play. That'll be enough for me.
You got to gamble that much, like roulette and Rudy Gobert. You need that much action.
Love it.
I will say one thing. I am curious to see how his ownership gets, closer to lock. It's definitely something to monitor because I ran 50 lineups through Sabre before we got on, and as you can expect, there's 3 to 5 Minnesota Timberwolves on every side. on every lineup. I mean, and like Kurt said, like you can get different. One thing we discussed at RPS is like correlating with the chalk, right? I don't see SGA like in hardly any of these builds with Minnesota. So if you just correlate with a Minnesota guy on the opposite side, it'll flip your build and make it a lot different in tournaments, which is something I'll definitely consider. And yeah, like the top 3 exposures that I have are Kyle Anderson, Jordan Poole, and then Rudy Gobert. And like that just tells me if Rudy Gobert is a chalk option tonight, I'll probably stay away. But like Kurt said, you can't deny that this is a really, really strong spot. Bigs against OKC. It's just something we're just going to continue to hammer and hammer. And there's actually a pivot in the same price range later that I'll discuss, which I really like. So
I know who it is.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, if you talk about Shea, like you said, correlation and everything, like Shea at 10-3 is not going to be popular. If people are spending up, they're going to be doing it for Steph. They're going to be doing it for, well, I don't know, just mainly Steph, really. And like Shea, like we'll probably see him under 20%. And like Kurt, if you're playing all these Minnesota guys, if you're playing Rudy Gobert, if you're playing D'Angelo Russell, guys like Kyle Anderson, Jalen Newell, like, are you going to prioritize Shea too?
I am, yeah. Yeah,
okay.
For sure. If I have one of those lineups with 3 Minnesota guys, I will definitely be having Shea in there.
So, Glock, we know we like Shea. Is there anybody else on OKC that you're looking at?
Oh man, yeah, I kind of wrote in the playbook like before Shea was listed in, like if he was out, this would be like an elite spot just to stack up. But OKC is kind of like the Dallas Mavericks for me, where you have Luka Doncic, he's the head of the snake. It's either him or bust for OKC. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander or bust for me. Obviously, if you find a build that lands you on Josh Giddey, 7,500 left, I don't mind it. It's just I feel like everything funnels through SGA, and obviously, if SGA is having a good game, Giddey's taking a back seat. So I don't love anyone else on the OKC side. How much is Jeremiah Robinson Earl? He's 4-2.
Yeah, he's 4-2. And like, I mean, he's last piece in, I guess, if you're playing.
Yeah, they're going to need his size. And he's shown some minute ceilings, like 34 minutes in New Orleans Pelicans 2 games ago. He's actually a pretty productive player when he's out there on the court. It's just, when you're rostering any OKC guy other than SGA, it's like it becomes kind of like a roulette game where you don't know like who's going to get benched at half. Like even Josh Giddey gets benched at halftime for like no apparent reason. So it's just a situation I'll probably avoid. But if JRE is starting, I guess you can consider him because they'll need his size against Gobert. I don't think they'll want Poku up against Gobert.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because with Orlando and Oklahoma City on the slate, you've got these 2 teams that just play massive rotations. And even though we have 8 teams on this slate, outside of a couple guys in Orlando and Shea, Kurt, you can just kind of eliminate these 2 teams, which is nice to be able to do.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a great slate to just mark off a couple of those teams, like the Magic for me, and then basically everyone on OKC but Shea, and that really limits the pool. I mean, you're not taking away that much ownership, but you're taking away a little bit, and anything helps.
Yep. Speaking of help, guys, help us out. Click that like button, click that subscribe button. It helps us out over here at Run Pure Sports. And if you've got any questions, guys, I got the chat open and I would be happy to ask our esteemed panel what they think about your questions about tonight's NBA DFS slate. Let's talk about Houston and Golden State. 233-point total. Golden State 10-point favorites at home. We got no Clay tonight, so that means more Jordan Poole. He's 5'8". We're going to like him. More Steph Curry at 10-9. Going to be popular. We're going to like him. Wiggins, not going to be as popular, but always in play in tournaments. Glock, talk to me about this Warriors side. What do you think about these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I like it a lot for sure. It's just a question if Houston can keep it close. And like we kind of touched on earlier in the show, keep your eyes out on the starting lineup. We've already seen like multiple scenarios this year where, like for the Spurs specifically, I remember like a week or 2 ago, Keldon Johnson was quote unquote active. And then he wasn't in the starting lineup. So, we may have that situation here with someone like Curry or Draymond. So just keep your eyes peeled on the Discord, the lineup alerts, and just ensure that they're starting, and that there's no funny business going on, because both of these teams on a back end of a back-to-back, they both played last night. And, they were listed questionable earlier in the day. At least Curry and Draymond were. So just keep an eye on that for sure. But obviously, if they're all in, Jordan Poole, I think, is the strongest play from the Warrior side. He's only 5.8K on DraftKings. Should play in both scripts, honestly. Like, he's not really like one of their mainstay starter guys. He does play a lot of minutes on a normal basis, but I feel like he could get that third quarter run into fourth quarter run where, if they're coasting against the Rockets, he's going to stay in the game, extend the lead, and then they'll bring in their backup guys. But yeah, Jordan Poole will be my favorite from the Warriors for sure. Stephen Curry, obviously you can always consider him in tournaments. That 10.9K price tag is definitely steep. You look at his log, it's like, man, it's going to take a lot from Curry to get there. Obviously he can get hot at any time from three. But you just look at his games, like 77, he has 70-point upside, and a 10.9K on a 4-game slate. You can't pass up on that. I think my only other guy in consideration from Golden State would be Draymond. 6.2K is a tough tag to stomach for him, but he's been playing better as of late, racking up the peripherals. So I do like Draymond. And then, on the Houston side, we don't have Eric Gordon. So I'm going to suspect KJ Martin probably slides into that starting lineup. 3.8K on DraftKings, really strong value play. I think he'd play also similar to Jordan Poole, where, if they're getting blown out, he's going to get that extended run and then he'll get taken out later. And then, I think my pivot of the night from Rudy Gobert is Alperen Sengun, 6.2K center. I know people don't talk about it a lot, but I feel like we have been in the RPS Discord. Bigs against Golden State. I remember a slate where Isaiah Stewart just went off against them. Bam, like their Vucevic had a great game against them last night. They're just really susceptible on the inside. And if you catch one of these Sengun games where he actually gets to play near 30 minutes or more, he's going to crush. And I love him, especially if like we get some funny business on the Warrior side. Like, let's say Curry's not in the lineup or something like that. That game becomes a lot more juicier, an elite game stack for me for sure, because I think it'll be that even more competitive. And Sengun would be my favorite from Houston. Obviously, the guards, KPJ and Jalen Green, are really strong plays without Eric Gordon, but I'm just going to abuse the Bigs versus Golden State angle here and probably play Sengun as my Gobert pivot tonight.
We got the man goat in the chat saying, I love me some Sengun. And I'll tell you, this is another one where, don't watch the game because you don't know if he's going to get 23 minutes or 30 minutes, and he will drive you absolutely nutty. But with guys like that, I like him when they're alone, and I like him when they're in good spots. You're going to get Sengun under 20% tonight. So I think he's perfectly fine. Speaking of ownership, these Warriors guys, Kurt, we got 7 of these guys projected at 10% or higher, which is, that's wild, man. What do you think about this game?
I think everyone's kind of like on the same side as us. Like, we think some funny business might be coming. I wish I had a kind of a different take than Glock, but I kind of say the same thing. I think you kind of backload and just wait, and you just take a couple different stances. Like, I'm going to be backloading so much that if Steph Curry gets ruled in, I'm going to switch it up and have a game stack of this game and have Curry. I'm going to run it back with like Green or Porter with Sengun, with like the cheap starter KJ Martin since Gordon's out. So I know Curry's a high price, but this could be one of the spots where he is in. No one's expecting him to kind of be in, and he goes for like 70 or 66. And it's like, well, 10-9 doesn't really look that bad when you get a 65 burger. So, but it'll be at game stacks only. I would make sure you run it back with some Houston guys because the game would have to stay close, obviously. And I don't really have much of a different take besides that. I'm always going to take stats on my boy Jabari Green from Auburn. I cover the college with Steve. I'm kind of like his little Robin. I still watch college even right now. I feel like I'm watching a little bit more college than NBA, but I'm always going to play my college guys. 5.5 is not a bad price tag if you're stacking it up with the Curry kind of run back. So
another thing about Curry on these short slates, raw points matter.
Exactly.
And so like a guy like Curry, even if he only gets you like 4.5x or like 4.7x, somewhere around there, it might be enough on a slate like this, because if he hits 55, you're probably going to need him because you're not going to have, those cheaper guys that are going off to that same degree. So those raw points absolutely matter. I know we talked about Sengun, Glock, are you prioritizing either Jalen Green or Kevin Porter? Like, are you prioritizing either of these guys? Because it's tough for me on this slate to want to pay $7K for those guys when I can, I'd rather just spend up more and play Shea.
No, yeah, I agree with you, Crane. I feel like, if we do see that Golden State Warriors funny business, it does make me a little more inclined to try and get up to someone like Jalen Green or Kevin Porter Jr., because I just feel like the game will become that more competitive without those, the stars on the Golden State side, right? But other than that, I probably won't be forcing them in. Probably last piece, if it's in, right, you have 7.5K, you could choose like Giddey or Jalen Green, then it becomes a debate, right? So that's probably the angle that I'm taking. And like I do see in the chat, Sengun got cooked last time against Golden State. I'm looking at it. He played 23 minutes, was actually an even in the plus minus when his team, let's see, Jalen Green was minus 24, Kevin Porter was minus 14.
That's the Jalen Green experience right there, minus 24.
Jabari Smith Jr. was minus 14. So he obviously wasn't the key thing. But I mean, when you play Sengun, that's in the realm of outcomes, right? Like you have games where he plays 23 minutes, 25 minutes. He'll get benched for a half, and then you have games where he plays 35 minutes and just posts his complete upside games like he did against what team was it against? OKC, right? Like we just talked about it. Rudy Gobert versus OKC. Look at what Sengun did against OKC. Season high 35 minutes, 10 of 17 from the floor, almost put up a triple-double. So he's just one of those guys that if he actually gets to run, like you're going to get paid off in a big way. And at this ownership, when there is a guy that's soaking up so much ownership as a Rudy Gobert, you save $700 and you just take a chance in tournaments on a guy like Alperen Sengun, and you just close your eyes and hope that they can keep it close. So that's kind of my angle on that.
Yeah, and by the way, the nice thing about that strategy right there, sorry, Kurt, but you don't have to click on Rudy Gobert then, and that just makes things so much easier. We did have a question in the chat about Kevon Looney. Any interest there for you, Kurt?
I'm not a Kevon Looney guy. I play him in showdowns and stuff occasionally, but not a big Kevon Looney guy in Classic. I think a lot more other guys have better ceilings than Kevon Looney.
He's 4-3. If he's your last guy in, okay, fine. Like
centers against Houston. Centers against Houston is actually something that we like as well too. Obviously, it is Kevon Looney. They're on a second end of back-to-back, but I don't mind if it's last in for sure. Maybe he's better than JRE as an option. I'm not sure. I'm still on the fence between those two, but I get the point.
By the way, like, can we just have Georgia and Michigan play for the title right now? Do we really have to have a 4-team playoff? Kurt, can we just do that?
It makes a lot more sense. A lot. I mean,
I mean, Georgia's they're about to go up probably 21 on LSU right here. No, 24. Nope, 17. Counting.
That'll be one of the. I hate to get too off topic, but that'll be one of the least. I feel like one of the lowest scoring national championships we've had in a minute. I feel like we've had some barn burners.
It's gonna be nice and high scoring when Michigan puts up 50.
Oh, with who? with what?
With Mr. McCarthy, who we were talking about pre-show.
Blake Corum ain't walking through that door on his crutches, son.
Hey, once again, I'll say the exact same thing on air as I said off air. Blake Corum ain't even the best running back.
The guy with a broken hand? He said, throw it, JJ. Give me the ball, JJ. I'm taking the crib, cousin. Oh, God. I think Edwards is good, but I mean, isn't his hand still broken? Right helmet?
Oh, we need helmet in here. We got helmet. I'm the voice from above. Where'd it go?
He's good.
He's good.
Okay.
It's all good.
He's not Mr. Stubb.
Okay. Oh, man, that's too funny. He's just like, don't put me on air. Please don't ask me. Damn it. Okay, I got to talk. All right, speaking of talking, speaking of liking, speaking of helping each other out, click that like button. Click that subscribe button. I jinxed the shit out of Georgia because I just missed the field goal, and helps us out. So click the like button, click the subscribe button. Portland at Utah, our final game of the night, a 227.5 point total. Utah 4.5 point favorites at home, and Anthony Simons, Glock. Can we just keep playing him because the guy's a stud?
Yeah, man, the dude is balling out for his grandpa. Total stud. Just. I don't know. I saw some chat on Twitter where it's like, man, Portland would be okay if they lost Lillard to whatever team. And I feel like they would be. I mean, Simons basically plays the exact same way. Obviously, they're better. I'm not saying they're better without Damian Lillard, but, they'd be in a good spot without him, right? They could just go young and Simons takes the helm. So, yeah, I mean, I love Anthony Simons. I love this game a lot in general. In the playbook, I marked it as elite just because, you have some key guys that are out on both sides, right? Josh Hart currently doubtful for Portland. Last time we saw that last game that he was out, Trendon Watford got the start. He's only 3.7K forward and center eligible, which will help a lot with your builds. He's surely going to be chalky, but he's going to be in line for a lot of minutes. Barring foul trouble. I've seen him do a lot of stupid foul troubling stuff, but Yeah, Trendon Watford's going to be a great play. Yusuf Nurkic, Justice Winslow, Anthony Simons, as you mentioned, Crane, Jeremy Grant. All those guys are going to play heavy minutes. And on the opposite side, we had Mike Conley question more earlier, but he got ruled out. So, I mean, we're going to stick with the same Utah guys, right? Lauri Markkanen would be my favorite. The dude is just straight balling, man. He was on JJ Redick's podcast and was talking about how the Euro basket gave him a lot of confidence because he was running the offense, right? Early on in Mark Cannon's career, he was like just relegated to the bench in Chicago. He was the catch and shoot 3 guy. And, I think like he was probably getting close to being cut from the league or something like that. And then obviously he got traded to Cleveland where he started playing on the wing a little more, started playmaking more and was able to show his skills. And now those are on like full display in Utah. So love Lauri Markkanen. Obviously, you can always go back to Colin Sexton with Mike Conley not in the mix. Malik Beasley off the bench he's kind of slowed down recently, but man, that stretch of games before Naw entered the rotation, he was absolutely crushing. So Malik Beasley can always be considered for tournaments. 7.6K Jordan Clarkson makes me a little squeamish. But 6.2K on FanDuel makes me a lot better. But on the flip side, 6.2K Jordan Clarkson on FanDuel, he's going to be chalk over there while he's going to be virtually unowned on DraftKings. So from a tournament perspective, it has to interest you somewhat there. But like I said, Utah, for sure, my favorite play is Lauri Markkanen. And then on Portland, Anthony Simons would top my list, but you can't really go wrong with any of the Portland starters. Jeremy Grant, Trendon Watford, if he gets to start again, Justice Winslow, Yusuf Nurkic. Love all those guys. And then an interesting guy off the bench, Shaedon Sharpe. I'm sure Kurt was going to bring him up. I think you're a big Shaedon Sharpe fan, maybe? No,
I hate Shaedon Sharpe. I didn't get to watch him play in Kentucky, so I hate him.
He practiced great at
He screwed me in summer league too a lot of times. So I'm not a big Shaedon Sharpe guy.
Okay, I kind of treat you like Steve, where it's like if it's like some prospect coming out of college that's like highly touted, like I think you have interest in him. So yeah, my bad on Shaedon Sharpe, but he did play a lot last game. I mean, he is pretty shooting dependent, which is a little bit of a concern. But at 3.5K off the bench, he should get some minutes, obviously, in the absence of Lillard. So yeah, love this game a lot. You can stack it up a whole bunch of different ways, mix it in with the Minnesota value, and I think you have a great start to your lineup.
Shaedon Sharpe just like he did the sharpest thing, man. Like he was hurt. He was hurt. He never had to play. He never had to show whether he was good or not, and said, "I'm still going to get picked in the top. What did he get 7th overall? I'm still going to get picked in the top 10. I'm just not going to play at Kentucky. I'm not going to mess with pre-draft workouts even. I'm just going to go get picked and make millions of dollars." Shaedon Sharpe, he is a I don't know, a bank account all-star for sure. Like, okay, Kurt, what do we think about this game? Is this one of the games you're going to stack up to?
Yep, it's another one of those late hammers. We can kind of backload and see if we get any news. If not, that's the great thing about tonight is like we can wait and see if we get news. And if we don't, like we have so many other paths. It's just a nice little safety net. And we can just take advantage of people probably not checking on the news as much. And it's just, it's a good slate for that.
Oh, this is definitely going to be a slate where people aren't checking on the news. People are going to be watching college. People are going to be watching MMA. This is not a slate where people are going to be grinding the Discords, which is why over at Run Pure Sports, for you members out there, hey, we are grinding those Discords for you. Keep them open. We'll help you out with the late news.
I just want to touch on that point where people aren't really swapping on the news. Like even yesterday, we got that Atlanta news where Trae Young was out. And you had 3K starters in Jarrett Culver, Jalen Johnson, and AJ Griffin. He wasn't 3K, but he was 4.5K. And those dudes were like coming in under 50%, like 20, 30, 40% based on who you're talking about. And like DeJounte Murray was only like 60% in the $100 SE. And like these guys were like total locks. And so obviously that news came in the middle of the slate. So I don't think people were swapping onto it. But man, like if we get another situation like that tonight, like I think we could see some low ownership, just like you guys said, because no one really wants to pay attention with all this stuff going on a Saturday, Friday. Everyone wants to enjoy their weekend. So, yeah, that's where you find an edge at RPS for sure.
Yep. Snyder in the chat says, winners hit the like. Help us out, hits the like. Teddy White says, who's Bama going to play? I said they're going to play somebody in the Outback Bowl because I still don't think they're getting in, even though TCU lost today. I don't know. Kurt, we'll get to back to this game in a second. Where's Alabama going to play? Are they going to make the playoffs?
See,
I say no. I say no.
I don't think. I think what's going to come down. I think they'll want to. They'll really want to. But like TCU has they have a shit ton of wins versus ranked teams. So I think that's going to kind of be the.
Yeah, but I mean, between Georgia, Michigan, and TCU, they have the toughest, the highest strength of schedule. So
as much as I think they'll want to, I think they will still let TCU in.
I think they still leave TCU 3. That way TCU can get blasted by Michigan and Ohio State can get blasted by Georgia. It's just going to be a beautiful, beautiful weekend in January. All right, back to the game, guys. Click the like button, click the subscribe button. It helps us out over on Run Pure Sports. Kurt, obviously we like stacking up this game. Is there anybody in particular that you're wanting to make sure you get in your lineups?
I got lucky with the Walker Kessler game last night. Another Auburn guy. So you can do a little Auburn stack, Kessler and Jabari Smith, but I wouldn't prioritize that.
There you go with your college guys, man.
Hey, but no, really, I mean, the guy got me set up like a 40 burger last night at 3K. I'm going to go back to him. I mean, you can probably do it in your game stacks, but I'll have him in other non-game stacks. I feel like everyone's going to have Trendon Watford or KJ Martin once he's announced the starter. I don't mind that. I don't think you have to get too different. I'll have probably one of those guys in every single lineup. You can mix in Shaden Sharp. I will not be. Don't like him too much. I can see Sexton or Beasley going absolutely nuke here, and I will have some Simons. I don't really. I keep every lineup I've made earlier when I was building at like 3 kept falling on Grant in that forward spot like at 7, 8, and I just kept going. So I'm pretty sure I'll be overweight on Grant. I'm not sure how much I love that, but I'm not going to change my whole lineup just because I don't think. I mean, Grant can go for another 40 burger here.
Malik,
different thoughts. I'm not playing for Clarkson either.
Okay, you mentioned Malik Beasley, and he's one of those guys that I also like when he's low, much like Alfred and Sengun. Beasley's just a guy that can get hot. If he gets the minutes, he could easily go for 40 at this spot at 5.4K. He's probably projected somewhere in 15%. Not a bad spot at all. We were in the chat. Mangone says he's going to be grinding the Discord, so Mangone will be helping us out. I'm going to a parade tonight, so I'm going to be having to stay on the phone in the Discord. We're taking the kids to a parade on a Saturday night. There's nothing.
Is it a Christmas parade?
It is a Christmas parade.
Oh, I love Christmas.
We're gonna have awesome. The lights going on. If you're out in Carbondale, come say hi to me. I'm going to be grinding out that Lights Fantastic parade. Good times all around. We're going to get to any questions in the chat. If you guys got any questions, now's the time. We're going to get to them. Oh, any Tari Eason love?
I'm going to go to my man, Kurt.
So if he gets – so I don't think it's – he's not going to get the start over KJ, but if he randomly got the start, sign me up. He's had some good games for me this year, actually, when I've played him a little bit. He's hurt me a couple times, but probably about even on Tari Eason this year. I don't mind that.
I like him.
Game stacks.
I don't even think he has to be in a game stack. I think if you fade the game in general and just think it's going to be a blowout, let's say Curry's in, Dre's in, and you don't think Houston can keep it competitive, Tari Eason's going to get that regular rotation run anyways. He's going to come off the bench anyways. It doesn't have to be a blowout. And then he's going to likely play in the blowout. So I don't mind him if you're fading this game in general and hoping for a blowout. And then, Tari Eason just takes you to the promised land.
Jordan Poole and Tari Eason dueling pianos in blowout run.
There you go.
Oh boy. Any Jonathan Kuminga love for us tonight?
Oh man, we're just going all for the college goats here. I mean, I think he's fine too. I think there's been some quotes about Kuminga where, they really like the way he's playing. He's found minutes in the rotation. So I don't mind him. I mean, I love him if Draymond is somehow not playing tonight. But yeah, maybe even you can consider like a Kuminga, Tari Eason little value stack from that game, because those two guys probably are going to be playing against each other towards the end of the game. I don't love it, but as I said, keep an eye on the Golden State lineup. We never know what kind of funny business can be going on. Steve Kerr is like a descendant of Greg Popovich. So just keep your eyes out on the news for sure.
All right, let's get to our plays of the day. Kurt, I do not remember what yours is called, so I'm going to call it the roulette play of the day. Who you got?
It's a tame bed play of the day.
Whatever.
I'm going anytime you can get Fred VanVleet.
Fred
VanVleet fairly low ownership at 7-2 with a chance to put up a 50 burger. Got to do it. My play of the day is Fred VanVleet.
All right, the Glocked and loaded play of the day. Who you got?
Oh man, Crane, I feel honored that you remember it.
I did remember that. I'm sorry, Kurt. I feel bad.
Let's go. But yeah,
cool, I
kind of touched on it earlier in the show. Rudy Gobert popping a lot of lineups right now. 3 or 4 Minnesota Timberwolves at the very least. To get different, you can reduce that number by 1 by simply pivoting from Rudy Gobert to someone like Alperen Şengün. Bigs against Golden State. If AP is watching this, I hope he's proud of me because he's kind of the one that got me onto this little trend at first. So Alperen Şengün at 10 to 15% ownership, pivot to Rudy Gobert. Like I mentioned, I do like him a lot more if we kind of get Curry or Draymond to kind of get some coach speak that they're not going to play that much, because I do feel like if they're both in, the script is a little harder for Şengün to hit. Obviously, he has to smash in his first rotation and not get benched. But I'm going to go with Şengün as a pivot to chalky Rudy Gobert.
All right. I like low on Şengün. I definitely like that off.
And someone mentioned in the chat as Nurkic as a pivot off Gobert.
Mm-hmm.
I like that too. I'm cool.
Okay, yeah. And speaking of Nurkic, we had a question. Do we like Nurkic and Gobert in the same lineup, double center lineup? Oh, yeah, look at Kirk. He got excited there.
I'll have that. Well, I was as we were talking, I was like, I reminded myself, I'm doing like 10 to 20 tonight. I reminded myself to make that build. So that's why I kind of got excited.
All right. I like it. Guys, thank you so much for watching the NBA Hardwood. I wish you guys good luck in your slate tonight. And if you guys want to hang out in the Discord, for you members out there, we're going to be hanging out there tonight. Man, Goen's already in the chat. He's saying he's going to be there. I'm going to be dropping in, making an appearance, shaking some hands, kissing some babies in between Christmas lights on the parade route. Kurt's going to be in there. Glock's going to be in there. We got a lot going on over at Run Pure Sports. So stay tuned in, keep running pure, and we will catch y'all later. Peace.